From the fire festival in Solitude to the hearth fires of Skyrim, these festival treats are as fun to eat as they are to make. Let's bring some festival magic to your kitchen with savory hand pies and a tart Snowberry crostata.
Perfect for eating on the go or sharing with friends, these recipes capture the spirit of Skyrim's celebrations. But can we recreate that flaky crust and perfect tartness? There's only one way to find out.
Can Kevin and I pull this off? Or are we doomed to a fate worse than Sovngarde? Kevin, it looks like our next adventure starts here. This rustic berry tart is most commonly made over the hearth fires of home kitchens, but can occasionally be found for sale in a few taverns and inns. The recipe makes a dessert that is just this side of tart and perfect to share with your traveling companions.
I'm quite certain we can make the Dovahkiin prop with these recipes. Today we're going to start with a little something from the Nords, and that is Nord spices. We got to make these spices so that way we can put them on our Snowberry crostata later. We're going to get our mortar and pestle out. We're also going to grab a couple spices, starting with some cardamom. We're going to take a tablespoon and a half cardamom, and we're going to add that right in here. We're also going to take 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, drop it in, 1/4 teaspoon of mace, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, and last but not least, 1/8 of a teaspoon of grains of paradise. And once you have everything in your mortar and pestle, you're going to give it a quick mix. We have everything pre-ground, so it won't take that long, but if you don't, make sure you get everything really into that fine powder so it can really blend into your crostata. Next, we're going to start our sweet crostata dough because it needs to chill in the fridge for about an hour. So we're going to take a large bowl, 1 cup of unbleached organic flour. We're going to take a 1/2 cup of rye flour, just a quick pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and also 6 tablespoons of butter, cold butter. And now we're gonna go ahead and use our hands and we're gonna get in there with that butter and the flour and the sugar and the salt. And you're gonna get this all mixed together. And you want the flour to turn into like fine breadcrumbs. So you should have about this consistency. You might have a couple chunks, put that water once it goes in, we'll get it out. Last but not least, we have 2 tablespoons of water. We're gonna go ahead and add this in here until we get a cohesive dough. Get it mixed up. All right, so your dough should come out to about this consistency. You're gonna go ahead and put it into a disc like this, and you're gonna go ahead and wrap it up with some saran wrap and then put it in the fridge for about an hour. Boom, it's been about an hour and our dough is ready to roll. And we're gonna lay it on a piece of parchment paper. Once your dough is on your parchment paper, you're gonna go ahead and take a rolling pin and you're gonna roll it out to about an 1/8 inch thick. So we are rolling this thing out and it is not easy. If you like me breathing heavy into the microphone like this, don't forget to subscribe. All right, now that we have our dough rolled out, we're gonna go ahead and take this whole thing and throw it on a baking sheet, cover it with plastic wrap, and put it in the fridge while we make our filling. While our dough is chilling, we gotta go ahead and make the innards of the crostata. So our filling, we're gonna start with 1 cup of granulated sugar. Next, we're gonna crack in 2 eggs. We're also gonna take 1 teaspoon of the Nord spices we made earlier. We're also gonna take a 1/2 cup butter or 1 full stick of unsalted butter, and we're gonna dump it in there as well. And the last thing for this batter is gonna be 2 teaspoons of almond extract. We're gonna also go ahead and whisk in 1 cup of flour until it turns into a nice wet batter. The almond extract smells just amazing in here. Now that we got our batter ready, we're gonna go ahead and put this crostata together. All right, we got our dough back out. First things first, we're gonna take some of this cranberry jelly and we're gonna spread it out. And you wanna leave quite a bit of room for the that crust to roll back over the top of the filling. And you're just gonna use 1/2 of this for now. And then we're gonna take our batter and spread that over the top there. And we also have a 1/2 cup of almonds that we went ahead and chopped. We're gonna throw those on top before we put the rest of the cranberries on. Once we got our almonds on there, we're gonna put a little more of that cranberry stuff right on top. And you're gonna go ahead and squish that stuff so it starts pressing into that batter. Once you have all that on there, we're gonna go ahead and take the edges and flip it over top. And before this goes in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and throw a little egg wash on there. Once you got your crostata egg wash, we're gonna throw this in the oven at 325 for 40 minutes. These savory little hand pies are easily transported and easily eaten on the go, making them a common snack at festivals and other social gatherings throughout Skyrim. They're especially popular at the Fire Festival at the Bard's College in Solitude. With a flaky crust and a rich filling, it's a challenge to just eat one.
Found the Bard's College kitchen.
Oh, Kevin and I are gonna definitely be eating more than one. So the first step is to make a rye pie dough. And the first step of that is 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Next, we're gonna be going adding 1 cup of rye flour. We have our 2 cups of flour mixed together. We're gonna add in half a teaspoon of salt. What makes this rye pie dough from Skyrim is our Stormcloak seasoning. We're adding half a teaspoon, and you can find this recipe in a different episode here. The next step is 6 tablespoons of butter. Now I'm gonna rub in this butter until it has a breadcrumb-like consistency. So the recipe called for 1/3 cup of water. We're gonna go ahead and add that in gradually. And we're just playing again, getting all that water through there. So we made this bad boy into a dough disc. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna chill it for half an hour. While we wait for that dough to rest, we're gonna make the innards. First step is we're putting in a tablespoon of butter. This butter is gonna melt over medium-high heat. I'm gonna spread it around town. Almost a butter dance. Almost.
He's butter dancing!
Oh, Next step is putting in some diced garlic. Nona says 5. That smells tasty. Now that our garlic is talking with the butter, we're gonna go ahead and add in our 1 pound of ground beef. We sourced this ground beef from Kvatch. Definitely no people in it. We're gonna turn this into ground beef. Break this ground beef up. We're gonna start searing it. Get all that garlic in there. All right, now while this starts to cook, we're gonna go ahead and add in our half a teaspoon of Stormcloak spices. All right, while this finishes up browning, we're gonna salt and pepper to taste. Kevin and I prefer a little bit more pepper, so we're gonna add some more pepper. And don't forget that salt. All right, so the next step is, while that's all browned and delicious, we're gonna go ahead and take out half of a cup of sour cream. We're gonna estimate about half of this because the entire thing is 8 ounces. Now the sour cream's in, we're gonna go ahead and add in 1 cup of already cooked white rice. We've cooked off screen because we hope that you know how to cook white rice. All right, we're gonna go ahead and mix that all together now. The final step, if you can see this cheese right here, is we're gonna hit some cheddar in there, about half a cup, or until your heart's happy. Now, if you like cheddar cheese as much as I do, go ahead and hit that bell. We're gonna stir this in, get it all nice and melted together. Now this is all melted, we have our innards done. I'm gonna grab that pie dough, we're gonna start prepping those hand pies. We're gonna go ahead and unwrap this. Bang. That was way smoother than I thought it was gonna be. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll it out. We don't want it more than a 1/8 inch thick. We want a little thin guy. Now you might be wondering what the blue bowl is for. Well, we don't have a pie cutter. So this is about 5 inches. We're gonna go ahead and send it right on through. Now we're gonna make 2 of these per pie. So the recipe only really had enough for 4 circles. So I guess Kevin and I are just having one. We're gonna grab a small heap here. All right, so now that the small heap is on there, we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of heavy cream to the side. We just wanna bind that a little bit better. Then we're placing the other side on. Now to crimp it, we're gonna use a spoon or fork. We're just gonna crimp this real quick. Then we're gonna go ahead and pick it up and put it onto our baking tray. We're gonna brush these pies with some heavy cream. After your festival hand pies are all heavy creamed up instead of eggs, we're gonna go ahead and throw that in to a 350-degree oven for 25 minutes. Or until golden, crispy, and delicious.
Today we indulge in the delicate sweetness of Skyrim's Snowberry crostata, a golden flaky pastry filled with luscious winter-kissed snowberries. And we experience the magic of festival ham pies. With the perfectly crisp crust and rich spice filling, everybody brings the joy of celebration straight to our taste buds. Let's eat, Jay.
Quick, easy, delicious. That was this episode. A lot of pie dough, a lot of waiting, but not much work, not much cooking. We had a fantastic time. Kevin, what did we make for everybody?
We made some festival hand pies, and we also made some Snowberry crostatas. I am excited to dive in, Jay. I think we should start with these hand pies.
They look good to me.
Let's do it. That's really good.
One of the things that I always think about whenever we add special spices to one of these is that they never add enough. We never really taste it too much. It's always just a hint. And maybe it's because I'm a bad cook, But I want to taste the dill. I want to taste the weird stuff we put in. I want to taste like the nutmeg. It tastes very good, but nothing like sticks out in this particular one.
I would not have used heavy cream on the top.
Also, that was a weird pick.
But I do understand like that has a flavor. I'm trying to think of where or what it is, but it's pretty good. But an egg wash would have been better.
I agree.
Some snowberries. We harvested them ourselves.
Thanks, Weston. Ooh, this texture actually looks good. Is it tasty? That's incredible, though.
The layers and the little crunch you get from those almond pieces in there. This is a delicious. Those aren't supposed to be in Skyrim. This is a delicious dessert.
It's sweet. It's almondy. It's textured. It's warm.
And you should subscribe.
Have a great night.
Peace out.